Good afternoon, everybody. Kimberly Lebbing here, and I work with business owners, professionals, and entrepreneurs who are stuck with a problem that they haven't been able to figure it out. And I have a very unique way of working with them where we discover what the problem is and fix it in 4 hours or less. So today I want to talk about the price of being the price of being stuck. The price of being stuck. So this past week, I actually did a lot of these 4-hour rapid results with various people. And through that process and what I've been doing all along, I see this over and over again. I think because last week I worked with so many, I just wanted to come out and say this because so many of the people that I work with are stuck in a problem that they have been dealing with literally their whole lives. Literally their whole lives. First person I'm thinking of is a business owner, and she's super stressed all the time with her business, super stressed. And she's a little bit of a people pleaser. So she was saying yes a lot, and then resenting the yes, and then responding in a way that didn't, like, she wasn't happy with how she was responding. This is something she had been doing for a very, very, very long time, literally sometime in childhood. And in our session, we were able to remove that. And literally the next day, something happened that had, in the past, like it was a common thing that came up, and she responded completely different than what she had done before. I see this in other businesses and other people that I work with where they've been dealing with something. And I guess people think that, because I did this too, you think that it's just that way. I don't know how to fix it, and it's just the way it is, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it doesn't have to be that way. I know for myself, I struggled for years. I know I've shared my story in here, but I grew up kind of in a negative-ish household, and my parents didn't know what they didn't know, and it's totally, we're all good now. They were very young, and there was just a lot of not good things going on that were like directed at me. I was the oldest, and going through that, it affected me in my relationships later in life. It affected my ability to have good relationships. It affected my business big time. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, always looking for, the thing that I wanted to do, but really, really struggled with being able to do that confidently and just break through barriers and stay consistent. I struggled with procrastination. I struggled with, confidence and leadership, so many things, a lot of fear. I had a ton of fear, and I didn't know how to fix it. I went to seminars. I read a lot of books, tons and tons of books, and you should. And so I'll stop there. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, professional person, you should be investing in your personal growth. This is something that I tell clients all the time. Listen to the podcast, read the books, because that helps us. And it helped me, but it really didn't get to the core problem. I knew that there was something else out there for me. I knew that there was something that was missing, because I kept doing the same behaviors over and over and over again. And the funny thing is what I would do is, because I've had several past businesses, and I would do the same behavior, have the same problem, go to another business, same thing would happen again, and then go to another. So do you see, like, it would just show up in different areas doing the same thing. Another example of this is in relationships. So if you know anybody that has gone from one relationship to the next relationship, and similar things keep happening, there's something going on with them that is causing that behavior. And I'm not saying it's your fault. It's something you're not aware of that you're doing. And that was totally the case with me. So removing those blocks and getting to that core problem was really key for me to be able to move on, and having someone that, that you trust, that knows how to do that, whether it be me or somebody else. If you need help, so if you are struggling in an area and if you need help, my encouragement to you today is to go out and get the help. Go out and get the help. You don't have to keep living the way you're living. You don't have to keep struggling. You don't have to keep just, oh, well, that's just the way I am, and that's the way it's going to be. It doesn't have to be that way. There are tools out there. There's things you can do to fix problems and overcome those things. So super important message for people to hear, because I think a lot of times people just get stuck and it's like this record playing in your head and you just think this is the way it's going to be. I think of, now I got to think, Groundhog Day, the movie, right? Think of the movie Groundhog Day, and how he kept waking up and everything was like exactly the same. It's kind of like that. It's totally like that. And it wasn't until he kind of viewed things differently. He did it on his own, and I forgot how many days he actually lived that same day before he did it. But can you imagine like not having to go through that process and actually having somebody else walk you through it and show you so that you can learn the lesson and things will be different on the other side of that? So very similar thing. I haven't seen that movie in years, so I'm not sure where that came from because that was not scripted. But I do think it's a good picture of what we tend to do, because we do tend to just do the same thing over again, automated, and then we get frustrated and things don't work right. It all leads back to that. So whenever you're able to invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest in your personal growth, and fix those things, those problems that have been really weighing you down and keeping you from the success that you want, that's when you're able to do that. That's when things really happen. That's when you're able to break through those barriers. And the investment, when I think about some of the things that I went through and I struggled with for so long, literally years, if somebody would have told me about this process like back then, I would have been like, well, hopefully I would have been open to it and I would have taken advantage of it, because I would have been so much further ahead than what I am now. I'm catching up. But do you see what I mean? Does that make sense to you about how when you invest in that and you're able to move through it quickly in whatever it is? So if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, maybe you need help in another way. Maybe you need help with, you're structuring your business or something. Go hire a business coach. If you need help with your website. I mean, there were so many things that I used to try and do all on my own, trying to figure it out. And some things I really wish that I would have had someone to walk me along and walk me through it, and that I would have made that investment years ago, because I would have moved much faster than what I did. But I've learned a lot. I've learned so much through these years. I spent 10 plus years studying what I do now, and I've learned so much about it. And now I've got it down in a streamlined process that can really help people not only move through it, but identify their problem, whatever that is. Sometimes the problem isn't obvious. Sometimes it is. Sometimes there's another thing that we discover that's really the real problem. And I do that through questioning. I do that through questions. That's how I uncover a lot of things. And it's something I'm trained in, and that's how we discover what the real problem is. And then we also look for the cause of the problem. And just like I mentioned with my client who had been doing something since childhood, getting to the cause of it, and that was my own problem, getting to the real cause of the problem is a huge key. And a lot of times it's disconnected. A lot of times it's not even anything negative. I had some negative things, but sometimes it's not negative. Sometimes it's just things that happen. And for whatever reason, we connect it. It gets connected to us unconsciously. And our unconscious mind just takes things so literally, and then it ends up affecting us later. So does that make sense? And then the third thing that I do with my clients is we fix it. And that's a very unique process that we do. But what I see on the other side of that is, sometimes I see things happen right away. A lot of times I see something happen right away. Sometimes I see things happen further down the road. And most of the time it's a combination of both. Because we clean things up. We cleaned up the problem. So when you have life, I'm going to give you an example. When you have things happen to you, so let's say you went through a divorce, and these are like your invisible life glasses, okay? Like nobody can see. I don't know whether or not you wear glasses, but you went through a divorce. There's a splotch. So now you're viewing whatever emotions and things that were on around that divorce. You're now seeing that through these life glasses. So that affects your business. It affects your relationships. They are all connected. And until you're able to go in and like clean them up, several cleaning cloths here, clean them up. And when you clean them up, which is what I do with my clients in this really fast process, when you're able to do that, then you put the glasses on and you can see clearly, you can make better decisions, you can stop the procrastinating and the, whatever it was that you were doing before, and everything just flows better from that point on. So it's not a magic pill. And it's not magic in the way that it's going to fix all your problems. But what I like to help people with is if there's that thing, that nagging thing that's been plaguing you for a number of months or a number of years or possibly your whole life, let's find out what that is, or go figure that out. Go get the help you need so that you can figure that out. Because when you think about the cost behind what that thing is costing you. So how many business deals are you missing out on? How many relationships are being, even nearly destroyed? I mean, I know for me, I really came close to even losing my marriage at one point. And it was because of the stuff that was going on in here. So all of these things are connected. Your relationships are connected to your business. There's really not a lot of separating that out until you get to what the problem is, get to the cause of the problem and fix it. You're going to keep struggling. And you may be able to, like me, I can't say enough about, go read the books, go to the seminars, go, listen to the podcast, do affirmations, do all those things, because they're very, very good for us. And they help us stay in a state of building our businesses and positive mindset and all of those things. However, if there's a deeper problem and something that you haven't been able to figure out up until now, that's where you need to reach out to someone and figure out what it is you need to do to fix the problem. So I hope this resonated with you. I hope you found that it was helpful. And if you are struggling, I've got a 30-minute discovery call at no charge that I can put the link in the comments of this video, or you can just reach out to me and I'll send you the link. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next video.